Kenitra Berry. All right, Ms. Berry, you are charged with a second-degree felony for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And you're charged with a Class A misdemeanor resisting arrest or search. Now, do you have friends or family that can help bond you out?
No, sir. I live alone.
You live alone and you don't have any family that would be able to come to help?
When he attacked me, I was throwing my purse at him to keep him
I
off.
don't want you to get into the facts of the case. I know
Okay.
your side of the story.
I don't have my cell phone, so I can't contact my sister in Round Rock, and I can't contact my sister in Austin because I don't have their numbers with me.
Okay. All right. Well, if they find out that you're in jail, if at some point they're able to, that they find out, would they assist you in bonding out of jail, or?
Why come I can't make a personal bond? I'm very responsible, Your Honor. I have worked all my life. Motorola, 18 years.
Well, I understand the law does not allow a personal bond on an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon charge. And so one of the reasons I'm asking you what kind of resources your family has is so that I can take that into consideration in setting a bond amount. Come on in. And so that's why I'm asking. So if, assuming your parents, your people, your family finds out, what kind of resources do they have to bond you out?
I can't speak on my sister's finances. They have children and families of their own, but I'm sure if they could help me, they would.
Okay.
But your officers are the reasons why I have a knife in my possession. They told me I could.
Talk to your lawyer about that. Okay. Talk to your lawyer about that. I know you have your side of the story, and I don't mean to cut you off, but this is a recorded proceeding. Whatever you say can be used against you. And so I don't want you making any statements about the case. You need to discuss that with your lawyer. And that's for your protection. I just don't want you to compromise your interests. So let's not get into the facts of the case. Okay.
I just want to go home to my apartment on the lake.
Well, you're going to have to post bond, Ms. Berry. And this is not a minor case. The allegations involved here. I've reviewed the police report, and yeah, it's not a minor case. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set your bond on the second-degree felony aggravated assault with a deadly weapon at $7,500, which I actually cut the bond in half from what I was originally inclined to do it based upon your financial situation. But I'm not comfortable going lower than that because of the particular serious allegations involved here, and I won't get into the detail of that.
Allegations.
Well, talk to your lawyer about that, and your lawyer can ask for a bond reduction here and come talk to me about it, and I'll listen. But your bond is set at $7,500 at this time. On the resisting arrest or search charge, your bond amount set at $1,000. Total amount of your bond is $8,500. A bail bond company will often do about 10%. If they charge 10%, they would do it'd be around $850. It's up to you to find the cheapest bondsman you can find and make your own arrangements with them. Now, Ms. Berry, if you post bond and get out of jail, you are not allowed to have any contact with the alleged victim in this case, and you're required to stay 200 yards away from him at all times, no matter where he is. Now, it's my understanding from reading the police report, y'all don't necessarily live in the same area, so you need to go the other direction. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you want a court-appointed attorney, or do you want to hire your own lawyer?
A court-appointed is fine.
Do you have any questions?
I just want to go home.
You're gonna have to call your family and friends and try to bond out, because you're not gonna be able to get a personal bond on this case.
Yeah, your boys did their homework. Unfortunately, they lied, though, and it's a disgrace that they're wearing badges. Okay,
well, talk to your lawyer about it. You certainly have the right to fight your cases and argue that what happened is not consistent with what the police reported. And so you talk to your lawyer.
I was the one assaulted, but I'm still sitting in jail, really?
Talk to your lawyer about that. I'm not going to get into a discussion. I can tell you I'm familiar.
I know you're not.
What's that?
I'm disgusted with the system, that's what.
All right, well, Ms. Berry, based upon
this man is homeless, a convicted habitual criminal, and I'm a person with a resume that's exemplary, and you gonna let me sit in this rotten jail, really?
Based on the allegations involved here,
allegations, exactly, that's what they are. False allegations, Your Honor.
Talk to your lawyer about it. I don't want you making any more. Good luck. Robert Martinez.
Okay. This is case number 3A0110097. This is on for pretrial, and Ms. Liu, what's happening on this case?
Thank you, Your Honor. In this matter, I am raising 1077 at this time. And then my observations or my reasoning behind that is involved in, or is included in the document on a court.
Okay, I'm just gonna, Ms. Kuster, I'm gonna ask you a couple questions, okay?
Okay.
Do you know why you're in custody?
No. Disorderly conduct.
That's the charge.
Mhm.
Did you talk to Ms. Liu about you thought someone was following you?
Oh no, I've just been bothered honestly by the Seattle PD and the court system for quite some time. Harassed daily, for the most part. If not by it's been quite a bit and overwhelming and extremely overbearing and extremely uncomfortable. So I'm doing the best that I can. Like, I don't really have too many. I checked into like a homeless shelter just the other day. And they had checked me out the next day. Prior to that, I've gone to every other place.
Okay. Let me stop you for just a second.
Yeah.
So do you know what Ms. Liu's role is?
I don't know.
Do you know what my role is in these proceedings as the judge?
You make the call, I would say.
Okay. And do you know what your options are in terms of resolving this case?
I do not. I had spoken to a officer about 4 days ago, and they said that this charge was nothing major, and that he wasn't, because I don't know exactly why.
Well, in terms of what decisions you would need to make. So you can go to trial or you could plead guilty, right? Does that make sense?
Okay.
Have you ever been through a jury trial before?
Yeah, I don't quite understand what I would plead guilty for due to the fact that I've not done anything wrong. So, yeah.
All right. So if you went to trial, which is your constitutional right, do you know what happens at trial? Can you tell me any part of a jury trial?
No. I mean, no, I don't know. I'm not really I'm not a criminal, so I don't know exactly if you are guilty or not. No, I can't tell. I couldn't tell you, no.
All right.
I don't read into the law like that.
What's your level of education? Your highest level?
High school.
Right. And where were you living before you were arrested?
What does that have to do with anything that has to do with my trial or my court?
That's a very good question. That's a very good question. I guess, have you ever been engaged in any mental health treatment?
Actually, my sister is a psychologist at 4.0 Washington State University. So, and I have spoke to various resources, and I do not have a mental disorder. Yeah. But no, yes and no. I don't have I've seen a behavioral therapist, and they send me on my way because I don't have a problem.
Okay, and I didn't mean by the questions to suggest that you do. It's just that your attorney is requesting that you have an evaluation to determine whether you understand the nature of the charges and you're able to assist your attorney in resolving this case. So that's why I'm asking some of these questions. I don't intend in any respect to embarrass you or suggest anything by my question. So if I offended you in any way, I'm very sorry. But I want to be sure that I am making the right decisions here. Okay. Let's see. And have you lived in Washington your whole life?
Again, I do not feel the need to explain anything personal about my personal life.
All right, that's
in
fair
regards
enough.
to my trial or whatever this is, you know?
All right, that's fair enough. And just let me talk to the attorneys for a moment now. And the reason that I asked that question is just that I am looking, it looks like she has a case out of Federal Way that is pending, that is in warrant status. That warrant was issued on April 6th. And let me see.
Your Honor, I searched the Seattle Muni website or their portal, and I didn't see that she has any cases pending in Seattle. So I don't know what the nature of her contact with Seattle PD has been, but it apparently is not criminal so far.
Was this the first time that you met with her today, Ms. Liu?
Today was the first time. My office has had other interactions with her, I think on the Federal Way matter, actually. I think we're assigned to that case.
All right. And was there discussion in the course of the Federal Way case of seeking an evaluation?
So the last notes that I have from my office come from 2022, where there was a discussion about it, but competency ultimately was not raised at that time. So that would have been a year ago.
I see.
Yeah.
You know, I think that her answers today, with the exception of the fact that she's not sure what happens at a jury trial, but that is somewhat understandable based on her lack of any significant history. She's also taking issue with some of the questions that I'm asking, which certainly is within her right. So I'm going to deny the motion today. I would ask perhaps, Ms. Liu, if one of your attorneys could, you know, maybe outside of court, if you haven't already, spend a little more time with her and determine, you know, whether, how she wants to proceed on this case. And I can just do a brief set over on this. So let's see. I could set this over to Monday. And the time between now and Monday, unless you have an objection, would be an excluded period until we determine whether or not we actually need an evaluation. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I guess my point of view would be only if 1077 was raised and we decided upon an order that we'd have an excluded period. So I'm asking that between now and Monday not be excluded.
Well, actually, it's the weekend anyway. So, although I guess that would count in terms of calculating speedy trial, but they're not court days. Do you have any objection to not excluding between now and Monday?
It's a good question, Your Honor. The city was going to request that bail be maintained anyway.
Yeah.
It is just a short set over anyway. I suppose
All right, so we won't do anything with speedy trial. I mean, the fact is that competency has been raised. I didn't sign the order, but it's been raised. And I guess at this point, it is pending. If you come back on Monday and you have the same concerns, then I'm likely to sign that order. So that being the case, I think it will just be told at this point because it has not definitively been resolved. What was the amount of bail in this? It was
3,000, Your Honor.
Okay.